right, welcome to Eagles Outlook this morning. It does feel good to indeed engage with you again. Politics and current affairs is what we'll be talking about this time. And this hour, we would look into the matters that concern yesterday's Senate ruling on social media bill, of course, which is sparking a controversy already. I mean, a Nigerian Senate's social media bill, which is also known as the Protection from Internet Falsehoods and Manipulation Bill, has really sparked intense debate. I mean, the bill is aiming to regulate internet usage as well as social media platforms in Nigeria. Now, this is citing the very need to curb the spread of misinformation and falsehoods online. All right, so the Senate sees this worthy as a proponent of the bill, to arguing that it is necessary, very, very necessary, to prevent the spread of fake news and protect national security. However, though, there are critics who are warning that the bill could be used to silence opposition and, of course, dissent voices, as well as restrict online freedom. My name is Uduak Daniel, and to have this conversation with us would be an information specialist, information professional, a policy and public affairs analyst. I'm talking about Mr. Benedict Olalekon Agunloye, and we will look into the matter that proposes, or the proponents of the Senate social media bill, and what it entails, and whether or not this bill indeed would add to the very growth and development of Nigeria. Some people say that this does not make political sense, but others are saying that this indeed is what we indeed have asked the National Assembly to represent us for, because the moment this is dealt with and taken out of the way, it will indeed allow for a social reform. But the bill is sponsored, though, by Senator Mohammed Sani Musa, claiming is not intended to stifle free speech or dissenting views. However, critics argue that the bill's provision are too broad and could be used to target critics of the government. But the bill has been referred to the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters for further review. Now, the social media bill, which is sparking controversy in Nigeria now, with many questioning its potential impact on the free speech and online freedom, proposes fines and imprisonments for individuals and organizations found guilty of spreading false information online. Some senators like Moro Elisha Abo have expressed support for the bill, citing the need to curb the spread of fake news. However, some lawmakers too have also come, in the discourse, saying that the bill would only raise concerns about, potential impact on free speech. So this is what we'll be looking at this morning as we engage our guest, in the discourse. And I'd like for you to also have your phones ready, because we need to really talk about this. And quite a number of Nigerians have said that this might just be the way forward for the country if we are to begin to stem out the evil in our society, which has been taken, of course, to social media. And there is also the power that social media carries in the place of information sharing, as quite a number of people have said that the social media's power in spreading information is so averse that if not curtailed, it will indeed, serious or incite, the society, and of course bring to disrepute, whatever gains of democracy we've been able to achieve over the past 20 years. Right. Well, the number for you to engage with would be 0907-353-0044. The other number is 0908-766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909-705-4450. You can indeed connect with us via this numbers, and of course the WhatsApp portal number, or better still, stick to 0907 353 0044 for your voice calls. And of course the WhatsApp portal number is 0909-705-4450. Well, connecting with our guest now. Good morning to you, Mr. Benedict.
Good morning.
Oh, it feels good to have your voice on to the discourse this morning, Mr. Benedict. How do you do? How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm fine.
Especially in the midst. Yeah, especially in the midst of all that's been going on. I mean, the River State is topping the charts now in terms of a state of emergency and other things that's going on. I mean, Dangote Refinery is saying that, they're still in talks with NNPCL, the Naira for crude and all of that. And then, of course, if we brought it into some matters that concern social media and regulation, as we've seen being debated right there. And there is also the prediction that there might be a backlash, for the National Assembly in this regard. What would be your thoughts, in this matter?
Well, clearly, I think for Dangote and NNPC, they sure need to resolve. Mm-hmm. Yes, NNPC would have a reason for doing whatever they do.
Right.
Dangote would also have a reason for his actions. But then, each business, and I believe that they should do their business in the best interest of the nation. And that's the practical reality, because the reason you have the businesses around there is actually because there is a nation. If the nation is not there, if the nation is in crisis, the businesses cannot be in peace. So we appeal to both NNPC, Dangote, and other stakeholders to ensure that the businesses are done in the best way, that the interest of the Nigerian people are put into consideration. And of course, on Rivers, give or take, let's see what the National Assembly has to say. I think now the ball is in their court to accept or reject the proclamation. I know that I think as of today, functionally, there should be 105 people in the Senate, meaning that for 2/3 majority, they need 70. And of course, the House of Rep will still need about 240 members. But let's see how they go about that.
Okay.
Let's see how they go about that. But functionally, also, I still think that the Section 305 need to be retouched beyond the matter everybody is saying. Now we need to look at it dispassionately, where the governors and the assemblies are involved in what is leading to collapse of governance. Because people are talking about unrest, we are talking about war. Sometimes there is no war yet, there is no unrest yet, but when there is collapse of governance, it will eventually lead to multiple disaster, both for the local people in the state or environment where it happens and for the nation at large.
Right.
So I think that Section 305 going forward, having given the president the power to claim the onset of an emergency rule, they should also be able to say what happens to the elected representative of the people who are on ground in the environment during the emergency rule. Obviously, you cannot have two governments in place at the same time.
Right.
So if you're dealing with emergency, you also cannot be dealing with the assembly and the governor. And I think that in the case of Rivers, both the governor and the assembly had not been able to do what is proper for the people over the last 14 months. So I just think that matter should be there.
Okay.
Now, coming to social media, or social media, well, do we call it regulation? Yes, if that is what it is, fine. But looking through the bill clearly, I think the concern of the sponsors of the bill is very clear.
Okay.
And that is dealing with false news.
Okay.
right? Dealing with false news. Now, we know that false news is capable of creating personal discourse, creating social disorder, and even putting the nation as a whole at risk.
Right.
So to that extent, therefore, I think if it becomes possible to regulate and punish people for false news, it will not be a crime. It only means that what he's saying is this: you are responsible for your speech. There is freedom of speech, right? But of course, you will remember that I think one of the East African presidents once said, I can guarantee freedom of speech, but I cannot guarantee freedom after the speech.
After the speech,
That's
yeah.
in exercising your freedom, you must be responsible. In exercising your freedom, you must be sure that you are speaking to the truth. So if what you are saying is the truth, I tell people abusing the president or abusing a fellow human is not speaking the truth. The truth goes with the fact. I have been deprived. The nation is suffering. But calling the president unprintable names in the name of freedom, no, whatever you are saying might be the truth, but your rascality can engender instability and insecurity and bring people against the nation needlessly. So I think that people should be punished for their rascality when it is proven. And unfortunately, the social media makes it difficult for you to hide rascality when you display it.
Right.
Because even when you pull it down on your page, some other people have already downloaded it, or it has been automatically downloaded to some people's media, and therefore it can be monitored. So if we are looking at the realm of national security, we're looking at the realm of preventing people from spreading falsehood, then you will say that Senator Musa has a point. But when you, of course, look at it from the other side, yes, can it be used to guard the people? To an extent. But the truth is that it is those who are spreading falsehood who will be so much afraid. Like I said, say what you want to say, publish it, but be sure that it is the truth, be sure that it is civil, be sure that you are not attacking persons, but you are reporting situation, right? Someone like me possibly think that, okay, the only vehicle that has right of way, that is okay, maybe he gets to traffic light and he doesn't want to wait, is possibly an ambulance or a fire truck. Any other person apart from that, in my opinion, irrespective of the capacity or the title or the position or the job role, in my opinion, has misbehaved. And if I can capture that on a video, I would definitely put it out there. So and so traffic junction, this vehicle drove against the traffic or did not obey the traffic light. Now, it doesn't matter who that is, as long as it's not a fire truck, as long as it's not an ambulance, it is for you to argue against the truth that you have seen by yourself. So when an event has happened and there is a true video, and you are speaking to the truth of the matter, not attacking individuals, not calling people names, not insulting anybody, then if anybody decides to hold you responsible for that speech, I think that the truth will stand to the very end.
All right, Mr. Benedict, let me come from here, and I want to believe I'll be speaking the minds or the hearts of quite a number of family members and Nigerians. Some would argue very quickly in that regard that the Nigerian government and some persons who represent the Nigerian government legitimately have also insulted the very intelligence of Nigerians based on their speeches, based on their actions. These senators, go on the what do they call it now? The sirens, on the streets, having soldiers or policemen hold a koboko, beating people off the road and all of that. Make way, the king is passing, so to speak. We've seen that happen many times. We've seen that abuse right in our faces many times. We've heard hate speeches that are so derogatory on Nigerians and the intelligence of Nigerians many times, and we have not seen anything happen to these persons. And we've even seen where some spokesperson for the government have gone on social media to also make certain assertions that are untrue and baseless. And in the end, they come back on social media to give us PR management. Oh, it was, they try to coin it in another way and all of that. And these people, who is responsible for holding them accountable? I'm just saying, because when this bill really comes to bear, it might really touch on all sides, and it would also be on the shoulders, or rest on the shoulders of the government themselves, or government itself, to show some responsibility, so that if it touches on them too, they get to fall for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let the regulation first of all be put in place. When the regulation is in place, right, and somebody decided to say what is not the truth,
regardless of who the person is, regardless of who the person is.
Yes, regardless of who the person
whether
is.
Whether he's a senator, is a president.
If he has lied on social media.
Okay.
If he has lied on social media,
okay,
he will take the case to court. Good enough, sometimes the case in the court lasts so long that it will outlive the regime.
That's it.
By which time his principal is no longer in office, and then he will be standing for himself. So it is a clear case. If the law is made, the law applies to all. The law applies to all. Yesterday is yesterday. This is today. Do we need to control falsehood? My answer is yes. Do some people think they are above the law? The answer is yes. But you will realize that nobody is above the law all of the time. It gets to a point where they can be held. Some were governors for 8 years and they have immunity. Is it not? But at the end of their 8 years tenure, even if they find their way to the Senate, the immunity they have as governor is no longer the same as what they will enjoy as senator or minister or any other position they go to hold.
Right.
Apart from becoming the president and the vice. So let's have a law that is properly structured. Let's have the discussion that would ensure that you are not punishing people, right, wrongly. Let's have the definition of what is falsehood, what is social media, and let there be procedure for what will be the fact of the matter. When that is defined, sir, it doesn't matter who it is, over time, we'll get to that point where people can be called to question based on the law that is in place that is not ambiguous.
Okay.
But of today, because there is no law, there is so much ambiguity. So it is the rule of, if you have the power, you can go ahead and say what you like. There are things you say because you are the school principal and nobody will say anything. Is it not? But when you are the student, you say the same thing and you are punished. I told you once before, a teacher was supposed to come and teach us. Sometimes he won't come. You go to the classroom as class captain in those days to call them, and you hear them telling fellow teachers, that is another person's mother cannot come and die for other people's children. Right?
Yeah.
And when it was their turn, one day students needed to go and work on our farm. They were in the sun for more than 20 minutes. Nobody was there to come and take them. And one of the students said, so she could hear from afar that that somebody's earth mother cannot come and kill other people's children. It was about 1 in the afternoon and the sun had come out without shame. She got so furious and was looking for who made that statement. Of course, it was a boys-only secondary school, so he never found the person. Unfortunately, the work that was even supposed to be done for her couldn't be done because more time was spent looking for who made that statement. So you will see when she makes the statement, because she is the teacher, she is right. But when the student makes a corollary, he wants to apprehend the student and ensure that the child is punished.
Isn't that the situation?
When there is a law that clearly states
yes.
what to say and what not to say.
Okay.
Once it is captured,
yeah.
even if you don't pay for it now because you are in government, somebody can. There is no period. A falsehood is a falsehood. So the law can catch up with you at any time, even though the law may be slow.
Okay.
But the truth is that if it is followed up, the law will eventually catch up with the culprit.
Well, many are saying that this is, they're arguing that this would restrict freedom of expression and privacy. The bill, of course, is aimed to establish a regulatory framework for social media in Nigeria, but many Nigerians are expressing concerns about its implication for democracy. Even Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, has expressed concerns about the bill. In fact, he cited potential stifling online discourse and creativity. However, some lawmakers have supported the bill. They have argued that it would help to curb online harassment as well as fake news. It would also interest you to know that since 2019, this bill has been out. Has been out there, has been going through different deliberations here and there up until 2023. Where the bill was passed, by the Senate in 2023, which was aimed to establish a regulatory framework for social media in Nigeria. But then there are some skepticisms, that Nigerians are having, and one of such would be, the evasion of privacy and the shutting the mouths of dissenting voices, in the political arena. So what would be the implications of the social media regulation bill for online freedom of expression and privacy in Nigeria? And others are coming from the place of how will the bill impact Nigeria's democratic values as well as fundamental human rights? But we'll just, leave it there, take a breather, go and pay some bills. We will be right back. And when we do come back, we will engage assiduously in the discourse. Right, don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Right, welcome back from that recess. We appreciate your time with us, and yes, we're still looking at the matter that concerns the social media bill, and our guest has been an information specialist who is in the person of Mr. Benedict Olalekon Agunloye. Right, now let's open the phone lines and have your voice heard clearly. But of course, within the ambit of civility and responsibility, 0907-353-0044. All right. Or better still, you just go on the WhatsApp portal and leave us a WhatsApp message. Do you think that this social media bill is aimed at witch hunting oppositions to the government? Or do you also think that it is necessary? Some are even calling on the fact that these social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that should all have offices, physical offices, where we can see them and, of course, go to them in times of need. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, your voice is very low. Can you speak up a bit so we can hear you? All right, Chimeze, welcome aboard. Very quickly, let's get into it.
Thank you. When you listen to the bill that wants to pass, it is good only if it tells the truth. It is good only when truth is spoken to power and they believe they are wrong. I have one of the names of the senators, Senator Abo.
Mm-hmm.
We know what happened to him in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you trying to tell me that the time I see a judge threaten somebody or beat up a driver at a farm, or I see such things on my news?
Right.
I record them and it's considered threat. We are gradually bringing up a certain decree enacted 1984 to muzzle up people from speaking the truth. That is the way I see it. But in as much as, yes, we believe in freedom of speech, your own freedom stops where mine starts.
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. You understand me?
Yes.
The fact is this: let us be real in the country and tell ourselves the truth. Yes, let us post things that are constructive, things that will make them speak up. Okay, like if you come to Apple area, you see senators, some high government officials, even the worst culprits are the police. They don't respect traffic laws under any guise. Sometimes when there is a traffic jam, instead of them going to correct their anomaly traffic-wise, they run against the traffic, blaring siren. You see some of them carrying animals or cows, and they are blaring siren, beating traffic situation. Okay, the bill is good, only if it is well coordinated, controlled, and allow people to say the things to see. Yes, some pictures may be gory, but let us see the truth. Let us see the truth and know what we are doing in this country.
Okay.
If it's intended to muzzle the people, I tell them they have failed. It's dead on arrival. It may start to be, but it may not be practicable. You understand where I'm coming from? Thank you very much.
Appreciate that one, Chitmeze, for that. Well, still keeping the phone lines open, and you can still tell us and reach out to us and let us know what you think about this Nigerian Senate's social media bill and the controversies that you believe, this is sparking already. What would be your personal concerns about this bill? Do you think this bill is indeed a bill that was seek to add value to the society, the Nigerian society, and of course clean up the messes that we are seeing, on social media, as well as dissuade those who have and are still willing to engage misinformation and disinformation in the society. Hello, good morning. Okay, that's a miss. Keep it coming again. 0907-353-0044. The other number is 0909-705-4450, and that number is the WhatsApp portal number where you can just get on there and leave us a message via the WhatsApp portal. So we see this one coming from Samuel all the way from Kuje, sending greetings to myself and the guest. Thank you, Samuel. It says, inasmuch as I am not in support of fake news, as long as it will not stop us from expressing our views, the bill for me makes no sense. If it is targeted on the sincere critiques of the people in authority, I hope it is not another way they want to use to silence those who are criticizing them for not doing the right things and that they supposed to do. What of the bill that will stop the headsmen, terrorists, kidnappers, and bandits causing havoc? Well, time shall tell. It says, thank you, UD. All right, thank you too, my brother. All right, we see this one here. It's come from who now? We saying, please add your name to the message. It should be from Basile, from Gwags. Oh, Gwags, yes. It says, Bola Tinubu declaring this state of emergency in Rivers is an insult to Nigerians and constitution at large. Okay, it says the illegality must not stand. But, well, that's not what we are talking about. That conversation we saw yesterday. Taking this call now. All right, that's amazing. Getting back with our guest now, Mr. Benedict. You see Nigerians already talking about this. And in as much as the bill seems to hold some promising, rhetorics, there is also skepticism, going on in the light of it. But let's just go hear from this family member right now, and then we'll get back with you.
Hello, my name is Faith.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir, this morning.
Good morning to you, Vivi. Yes.
Our guests may be fair with us. You see, when we say such, I know my baby blessing from Mako.
Thank you.
You see, why they ask, why they say, when we say something, they go do a difference. They say we fought president, we may use a cool word. When that something happen, they may they do listing for us. What it be our right? Give it to ask our guests. What it be our right? Where we supposed to channel our talk to president to listen for us. And if they carry our information, they give it as we they talk. Is it because when we talk, say word where we not supposed to say? Not because we say word where we not supposed to say. When a bring issue come for this lady, we go vote our vote. Whether our president go come, he go listen for us, or the people that we are telling to listen for us. Okay, look at the issue where they happen for Liberal State now. We are becoming president. If the only president have power to pay this Fubula matter with the case. But what president do? But I don't say I condemn what president do. It's supposed to they call two of them, settle them. They are home. Home is home. You cannot just silence the people, you sack one, you give her 6 months. Issue of Natasha, you give her, they give them 6 months. Wetin be our best, wetin be our right, and what be our best. After all, we know the self president. When you no do well, we go tell you say you no do well. When you do well, we go tell you say you do well. Then you ask us wetin be our right, and where we supposed to bring our best out. Now I want me our guest after me.
Appreciate that, BB. BB is saying that, don't you think that the reason Nigerians are turning to social media now is that social media allows for Nigerians to express their frustrations, being that they've tried every other medium and it doesn't seem to be, impressing, on the people that it should be impressing on. Mr. Benedict, how do you add your voice to all of this?
Well, very clearly, I think they've all spoken well.
Right.
The reality is this. Can you guard the people by that law? I really will say no. Who is going to enforce it? Do we actually have prison to take up 5 million people at a time? The answer is no. But for those who are also saying it will kill innovation and creativity, I don't agree. You can be creative without telling lies. You can create content without being irresponsible. So what we are saying here is the social media is a privilege. And as a people, if you check us, we love taking up privileges. We don't like understanding our roles and responsibility. So if the bill is coming to the extent that it will make us to understand our roles and responsibilities in area of saying what is the truth and speaking the facts, right? Not coming out for your emotional outburst can be to you, but when you begin to you need to separate the person from the office and address the responsibility of the office than abuse the person in the office. A lot of times you see people do more of abusing the individual on that seat than stating how the responsibility of the office has failed them.
Okay.
So to that extent, I think that if it will force responsibility on the people, it is okay. And of course, talking about expressing their view for the government to know, the social media has created that privilege and platform to you. When you are saying what you think is happening to you, right? It doesn't, like I will continue to say, does not include vile talk, does not include insulting, does not include calling people unprintable names. Sometimes when you call them the names is what they hear and they will never hear your message again. And it's as simple as that. Okay. So as much as possible, we need to put our message out there and leave it at that. For the person saying what should have been our channel, unfortunately, we have councillors that we don't know. We have local government, many people even in the cities don't know where the local government secretariat is.
Right.
You don't know where the lasting office or the constituency office of the House of Rep or the Senate member representing you are. Ordinarily, those should have been some of the places where we channel our complaints, such that the councillor can take it at the local government level, the House of Rep or the Senator can take it at the higher level. That these are the concerns of the citizenry of my environment. But the truth is that ask some people as we speak today from Mac, right, and Buhari, they don't know the name of who is representing them in the House of Representatives. Not to talk about the office, but the man is representing them. Abi? Gwagwalada area, Gwagwalada, and I think we have somebody representing them also. Do they know who the person is? The same thing go for Kwale and Abaji. Do they know how many people living in those environments can tell you boldly, this is the name of the person representing me in the House of Rep or in the Senate, and this is their constituency office where I can channel my complaint. Most times we don't care. I've run an interview once, I think in Lagos State.
Don't you think it's a two-way thing?
I asked them the name of the deputy governor of their state, right? Out of over 50 candidates, only 2 knew who the deputy governor in their state
Mr. Benedict,
of origin was.
Don't you think it's a two-way thing? I mean, it's one thing to saying that, okay, the people don't know who the person representing them is. It's another thing to also say how much impact, is that person also impacting, in the lives of the people that he's representing or she's representing. Shouldn't it be a two-way thing? I mean, that's why Nigerians are talking about this. right? But then you might as well want to consider the place of what could be the political implications of this bill. I mean, for Nigeria's democratic institutions and processes. But it may also interest you to know that the United States, European Union, even Australia, they've all implemented social media, similar bills, rather, if you like. For the United States now, they have a robust framework for regulating social media with laws such as the Communications Decency Act, the Digital Millennium, Copyright Act, and all of that. The European Union has the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and Australia has the Online Safety Act. So it's not new to Nigeria. If you are even talking about, in the shores within the continent of Africa, South Africa, has had such laws implemented. They call it the Film and Publications Act. We've got Kenya, calls it the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. Ghana has implemented laws such as the Electronic Communications Act and all of that. So it shouldn't be new to Nigerians. But if I understand you correctly, Mr. Benedict, what you're saying is that Nigerians should be wise in engaging, the polity or speaking truth to government, especially when using, the platform of social media. Be civil, be responsible, so that you are not being gagged. There is nothing found on you that would make them want to not pay attention to the message in your, in your message, or to look into something else that you have said that is seemingly sounding as a hate speech or as an insult and all of that. But Mr. Benedict, this is democracy. This is democracy. If one does rightly, one should be applauded. If one does wrongly, you should expect that there will be no applause. And if every time we are also being gagged one way or the other, right, by laws, by people who are at the helms of affairs, even also using social media to push their agenda, and it's right up in our faces, you're saying that there is hope with this bill? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I believe there is hope. I believe that there is the need to engage with them. The bill should still go through public hearing, and so the people can scrutinize what it contains and put the content. Like I said, the focus should be on the message, and the content of the message must be the truth and must be the fact that can be worked upon. Somebody has done what is wrong, put the fact of the matter and the truth out there. Don't embellish it with lies. Don't pick up a video from Niger Republic and say it happens in Lagos. Don't pick up a 2012 video and present it as if it's just happening in 2025. Those are distortions.
Can I also add to that? Don't give us projects that is a sham and is not happening, and tell us that the government is really making a project for Nigerians and the people.
So on all sides, if that can be proven, you give us a project that is not there. Of course, what stops an NGO or a group from going to court to challenge you for lying to the people?
But don't these court processes take time? I mean, you rightfully said, some time.
Processes may take time, but if you allow it at the passage of time, it will eventually be proven. Right? It will eventually be proven.
That's the that's the problem, Mr. Benedict. For how long we keep waiting for a process?
That's why we should think about system and not about individuals.
Okay.
We should think about system and not individuals. So if it is system that is following up the processes, it may take some time, but what you are going to get is that you will get results.
Okay, well, let's go to this message. Yeah, let's quickly get this message out. This one says, good morning, Daniel. I greet your guest. Good morning to you. It says, I'm in Nasarawa, and this is coming from Tekimbi Hundu. It says, I feel our lawmakers are beating about the bush. We Nigerians are facing more pressing issues that need urgent, laws and attention. For example, we need laws to stop herdsmen from moving the cows around, destroying our people's farms. If they complain, the herdsmen will come at night and slaughter our people. We need laws to stop a sitting president from appointing INEC chair, and so on. The social media offers a good opportunity to all Nigerians to express themselves, but engaging in fake news, abusing and insulting others is unacceptable. Well, Tekken B saying, be that as it may, it seems as though this should not be a priority, in the discourse, especially at the table, at the floor of the Senate. You might also want to give us your parting words, as you attempt, to respond to that.
Yeah, no, basically I think that guy said it all.
Right.
People should be allowed to say what they have seen. We keep saying, say what you see, and if you see something, say something.
Mm-hmm.
If the social media is one of the platforms, you can say it, but what we are saying also is, be sure you are saying the truth. So that when you speak, whatever you say is actionable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you are not saying the truth, when you are only there just abusing the government, how does the government take action based on what you have seen or what has happened in your territory?
Sir Benedict, I don't mean to cut you, but there's something that came to mind. Now, I would just like for you to give me a straight answer to this. I mean, taking the very sad and gory explosion that happened in Karu, just yesterday. Take, for example, a Nigerian decides to put that out on social media and maybe has counted the bodies and those who have been affected, right? Maybe has said, the bodies is 30 people, lost their lives, sadly. And maybe, 5 people have been rushed to the hospital. And then what we are finding on the front page of newspapers is telling us that 10 people, lost their lives, and maybe 2 people are in the hospital. And such a person is now being looked for and threatened. How could you go and say that 30 people lost their lives? What should happen in such a scenario?
If you are going to go, if you are an eyewitness,
yes,
right?
Please. Yeah.
And you say 30 people, you should have evidence for the 30.
Yeah.
If you have pictures of where they are laid down, and you show the images, right? You show the images that you have counted 30.
Yeah.
Basically, you are reporting on the spot. If the journalists have gone to the officials and they have gone to the hospital and there are only 10 corpses in the mortuary, so to say, you will also know that from the point of view of the hospital, only 10 corpses have arrived.
Okay.
Now, everybody has his own fact, but he is speaking the truth to what he saw on the spot. He is not somebody who is 100 kilometers away reporting the matter.
All right, final thoughts, one line if possible, please, so that we can just go pay some other bills. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what would be your final thought? Maybe one line, because we need to indeed end this
my
now.
final thought would be social media needs to be regulated to prevent falsehood.
Okay.
But it should not be a means of gagging the people.
Right.
In fact, if it is intended to gag the people, it will surely fail. It will not stand.
All right. If it is intended to gag the people, coming from an information professional, policy and public affairs analyst now, Mr. Benedict Olalekan Agunloye, it will not stand, he says. The phone line's still buzzing, but we can't go any further. Mr. Benedict, thank you, far too kind, for adding your voice in the discourse today. Right, and yes, to each and every one of us that have also added our voice, thank you, far too kind. It does also show that we are ready to engage the government and speak truth to power and sanitize, the social media space. And hopefully and believably so, this should indeed impact our economy, impact the country, and also stop this trend of misinformation and disinformation that's spreading like a cankerworm. My name is Udwa.